spaceships instead of horses. Last night in Hollywood, that show celebrated birthday number 20, duly noted in the captain's log. Lisa Gibbons was there.
It was a party befitting the 20th anniversary of the show which changed television history, and all of Hollywood's Trekkies were out to celebrate. Star Trek made legends of its cast. The actors that played the crew members aboard the Starship Enterprise will forever have those TV identities. But did you ever wonder what they did prior to their journeys where no man had gone before?
I was in Europe planning to stay there and enjoy the beauty and sights when I got a call and said, come home, they're doing Star Trek. And I didn't answer the call. I said, the telegram, I said, what's a Star Trek? It's another interview.
I was making my own movie. I had just about decided that if I was going to have a career, I would have to manufacture it myself.
2 decades ago, William Shatner was an actor of some note. A favorite with the critics, he was dashingly handsome.
Oh, well, I was dashing in those days. I was running from agent to agent. I was dashing from studio to studio. I was looking for a lot of work.
This is Leonard Nimoy as a boy. With those ears, is it any wonder he grew up to play Mr. Spock?
It would be fun to stand here tonight and say to you, I knew all along that this thing was going to run for 20 years or more. I don't think anybody could really have predicted that, but I did have a sense that we were doing something that made sense.
The Star Trek characters are so much a part of the actors who play them. For Nimoy and Shatner, it was easy to project how Spock or Captain Kirk may have reacted to tonight's party.
Well, I would say this is a very logical thing to be happening here.
The entry would be Stardate 1986. What will the future hold?
Lisa Gibbons, Entertainment Tonight.
60 years ago today.
Company, next on Channel 8.
From New York, where God, I've got a craving for bubbling hot tuna casserole. You know, the kind they used to serve in prison. My lips are really smacking now. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Howard Cosell, William Shatner, and comedian Paula Poundstone. Plus, Paul Schaefer in the band. And now, a man who can't wait to bounce out here and entertain your brains out. And he really can, too. What do you think happened to me? David!
Our next guest tonight is a wonderful comedian. This woman can be seen next week in... To an entire generation of television viewers, our next guest will always be remembered as the gruff but lovable Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, and he can soon be seen in the motion picture Star Trek IV, Voyage Home. Please welcome William Shatner. Nice to meet you.
I'm gruff but lovable.
Gruff but lovable.
Gruff but lovable.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah, tough but fair.
Oh, that sounds more like it.
Do you at this point you're probably just sick of talking about Star Trek, aren't you?
No,
You hear it everywhere you go, though,
Star
don't
Trek
you?
4 is coming out November 26th.
How many of these films are there going to be? We've had 4.
We don't want to even think about ending them.
Oh, really? You would like to keep doing them on and on?
Hey, why not?
I guess so.
Keep going.
Do me a favor and do the opening narration from the television show.
I don't know.
Come on, you know.
David, I don't know.
To boldly go to space, the final frontier, to boldly go where no man
has gone before.
Yeah,
and
just a little.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Give it to me. See? Still.
I know, they're taking the night off. All right, well, we'll forget about that. Okay.
It really, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I hardly look at it.
So the crew goes home. You're going back to planet Earth in the film?
I think so.
For the purpose of what?
Listen, if I were here to tell you, I would tell you. But I can't tell you.
You can't give us a hint as to what the mission
Well,
is?
I could give you a hint, but then you wouldn't pay your money at the box office.
No, people will, these things, people will go see them regardless.
Well,
if they know about them, they'll go see them many times over.
When did you become an authority on that?
Well, it's just the kind of thing you have to make up when you have your own talk show.
Well, listen, we come, we go, we have trouble, and we save, and we go, and we
But
get back.
you come back to Earth.
Yeah.
But you go back in time to Earth. You don't go, right?
Is that right?
I think so, don't you?
Well, we do.
Well, we have a clip here.
You do have a clip?
Let's take a look at the clip.
We go back in time.
All right. And anything you want to tell us about the scene we're going to see?
The clip is self.
Okay, the clip here, for the first time ever in the history of television, we have a self-explanatory clip. It's from the soon-to-be released motion picture Star Trek 4. There it is.
Splurge. All set? Good enough. Well, Spock, here we are. Thanks to your restored memory, a little bit of good luck, we're walking the streets of San Francisco looking for a couple of humpback whales. How do you propose to solve this minor problem?
Simple logic will suffice. I believe I shall begin by making use of this map. I have the distance and bearing which were provided by Commander Uhura. If we juxtapose our coordinates, we should be able to find our destination, which lies at 283.7 degrees.
I think we'll find what we're looking for at the Station Institute in Sausalito. A pair of humpback whales named George and Gracie.
How do you know this?
Simple logic.
Does it mean exact change?
That's pretty funny. We're going to do another commercial. We'll be right back here with more.
One man can do all that. It's amazing.
Terrific. You're in town. You're going to be riding a horse of yours at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I'm in town to publicize the opening of Star Trek on November 26th. And coincidentally, I'm showing horses at Madison Square Gardens, the legendary Madison Square Gardens. I'm competing in.
And what is the title of the event?
Well, I'm riding American saddlebreds, show horses, and there's a show at Madison Square Gardens all of this week.
You breed and train these animals?
Breed, train, and ride.
Yeah, and specifically, what does this animal do that other horses can't do?
It's like describing what a ballet dancer does. There's great beauty and great motion, and the most beautiful and the most animated motion wins. The rider would be like the male dancer partnering the female.
When we see these horses, are they like quarter horses? Are they like thoroughbreds? Are they like...
They're beautiful, long-necked horses that prance and do either 3 gaits, some horses, or 5 gaits, some of the other
different
horses.
Style of walking where their feet go in different
That's it. You get
rhythms?
it. Animation. It's a beautiful, exciting event, and if somebody wants...
What are these things worth, these animals?
They range from a few $100s to many hundreds of thousands.
Is that right? It's a big business for you.
It can be.
Yeah, and a big thrill, I would guess, to do this.
The biggest of all.
Okay, we have to do one more commercial, and then we'll be right back. Okay, Star Trek IV, The Return, The Voyage Home opens all over the country the 26th of November.
You got it.
And the horse show at Madison Square Garden begins
Today, tomorrow, something like that.
Good luck and congratulations, and come back and we'll spend some more time chatting. Tomorrow night's show, folks, is a rerun, so do some work around the house. We'll see you Wednesday. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thursday on Cheers, when Norm gets rich with a...
creep that he is, and for making our job...
They progressed to the point where we could get some positive results.
The Poindexter concedes that recent disclosures may have hurt chances for the release of more American...
For there to be an exchange of prisoners, because...
For 8 right now, Eugene Hassenfuss's future is still uncertain. He was the lone survivor of that U.S. cargo plane.
It is now 47 after all. This week we are going to be looking at the phenomenon known as Star Trek, the TV series, the movies, the cast, and of course the razzle-dazzle special effects. In a few moments, an interview with Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, but first an overview from Mr. Siegel, Joel that is.
Good morning, Joe. It was on the air for just 3 seasons, just 79 episodes. It's been off the air for 20 years, but no TV series before or since has had the devoted, relentless, fanatical fans Star Trek has. They are called Trekkies. I am not one of them, which allows me to view the phenomenon with some objectivity.
Space, the final frontier.
Myth. Star Trek was a hit TV show taken off the air before its time by Klingon TV executives. Truth. Star Trek was never a hit TV show. In 3 seasons on NBC, it never cracked the top 25. In 1966, it was on Thursday nights opposite My Three Sons on CBS and Bewitched here on ABC, the number 8 rated show. The next season, it moved to Fridays. It was opposite Gomer Pyle, the nation's number 3 rated show. True fans are called Trekkies. They meet in conventions, publish learned texts, lists of casts, plots, and idiosyncrasies. A fan knows Mr. Spock never smiles. A Trekkie knows exactly when and where he did. A Trekkie knows what a tribble is, a furry creature, a living smoke alarm who knows when an evil Klingon is about. But only a Trekkie knows how many there are.
Hundreds of thousands. 1,771,561.
You say, bang zoom! That's the Ralph Cramden approach to warp drive, and the Honeymooners are the only other TV series that spawned a similar group of super loyal fans. They hold conventions, they've unearthed lost episodes, they've kept their hallowed traditions alive, and their show on the air, like their brother Trekkies. But Star Trek is the only TV series in history that's moved lock, stock, and force field to the movies, where the 3 Star Trek features have grossed $240 million. And more proof of Star Trek's unique place in America's imagination. NASA named this test shuttle the Enterprise.
My friends, I can't ask you to go any further. Dr. McCoy and I have to do this. The rest of you do not.
Admiral, we're losing precious time.
Work course, please, Admiral.
Mr. Scott?
I'd be grateful, Admiral, if you'd give the word.
Gentlemen, may the wind be at our backs. Stations, please.
And the wind has blown fair for Captain Kirk. Star Trek IV opens the day before Thanksgiving. There will be lines, 1 million hardcore Trekkies camping out all night to be the first to see it. All this week we'll be meeting and talking with the Star Trek crew. Tomorrow morning, Joan will be beamed from our studio on board the Starship Enterprise, which is somewhere in the far reaches of the universe, a strange, exotic, dangerous place called Hollywood. It's 10 minutes before the hour, and Joan will be back with Leonard Nimoy, or Mr. Spock, if you will, after this from Magnavox.
Well, the crew of the Starship Enterprise is blasting off again, traveling to where no man has gone before. And that means there's another Star Trek movie. It is called Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Leonard Nimoy is back as Mr. Spock, and he's back as our guest. It's nice to have you here.
Thank
I've
you.
had more fun looking not only at this movie, but behind the scenes of the movie. For all the Trekkies out there who are hanging on your every word, how much can you tell us about what the movie is about?
Well, in the 23rd century, which is the time of Star Trek, Earth is in terrible trouble. We, the crew of the Enterprise, have to go back 300 years in time to now to pick up something here on Earth that no longer exists in the 23rd century and carry it into the 23rd century to save the planet.
And if anyone wants to stop and think about that for a minute, there's a lot of humorous implications there, and you really do use those, and that's really something kind of fresh and new also.
Yeah, we've done some pretty serious and heavy drama in the last three films. Lots of life and death and Sturm and Drang and operatic emotions and stuff like that, and we decided it was time to lighten up.
All right, we have a scene from the movie. I want to show them right now. Spock and Kirk are in San Francisco, and that's definitely another world to them.
I believe I shall begin by making use of this map. I have the distance and bearing which were provided by Commander Uhura. If we juxtapose our coordinates, we should be able to find our destination, which lies at 283.7
I think we'll find what we're looking for at the Station Institute in Sausalito. A pair of humpbacked whales named George and Gracie.
How do you know this?
Simple logic.
What does it mean, exact change?
Let's do a little bit of folklore, okay? Star Trek folklore, because a lot of people had a lot of questions they wanted me to ask you. Well, let's start with the handshake. Am I doing it right?
The handshake?
You do it. The Vulcan,
you mean this?
I mean the hand sign.
That. If you can't do it, you're in a lot of trouble. The first time we introduced that into one of the episodes, it was an episode called A Mock Time, where we had to go back to Spock's home planet of Vulcan because Spock was engaged to be married. The lady that I was doing a scene with, she had to do it, and she had trouble. She struggled with it, and we got her hand in the position off camera, just like I'm doing right now, and hit it, and got it ready, so that when it came time to do it, she had it ready, and she just popped it. It comes from an Orthodox Jewish ceremonial gesture. This is the shape. This is actually the shape of the letter Shin in the Hebrew alphabet. And that letter is the first letter in the word Shaddai, which means the Almighty. So the suggestion is they're using a symbol of the Almighty's name when they bless the congregation.
How strange has it been for you to really be able to see yourself there in living color on screen as you grow older over the years? Because none of the rest of us have that
It's
happen
quite
to us.
extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary, really. And in a way, I feel a great sense of accomplishment. You know, to still be around and still be acceptable doing it for so long, and for people who want to still continue to see it for so long. I think in this picture in Star Trek IV, the work that I did as Spock is the most relaxed I've ever done, and certainly the interaction between myself and the other characters is the most comfortable I've ever been, and I think it is because of the passage of time. There are some things that happened between us, particularly between Bill Shatner and myself in this movie, that could only happen after working together for 20 years.
I have a hunch that we'd all be a lot happier discussing this over dinner.
You guys like Italian?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
No. Yes.
No.
Yes. I love Italian. And so do you.
Yes. I never dreamed that I would have this kind of longevity in this thing. When we made the series in 66, 67, 68, we were a moderate success, never really a hot show. It wasn't until the syndication, 72, 3, 4, that the show really started to take off and became and still is the #1 syndicated show in television history. It's quite an accomplishment. I feel very proud of being part of that.
Well, it's such a wonderful series, and it has such great... It's really got great values and the morals that people learn from, and it's really enjoyable seeing it once again, even 20 years later. Nice to see you.
Thank you, and nice to see you.
We'll be back in just a moment.
And tomorrow, a tour of Star Trek's USS Enterprise. Later in the morning, this morning, Billie Jean King.
Wow, a cannon.
Tough off-road race convincing actor Christopher Reeve to come back for 2 Superman sequels. So getting him to do the latest in the series, Superman 4, was a real problem. Here's the inside word from Christopher himself.
Risk worldwide nuclear war for your own personal financial gain. Nobody wants war. I just want to keep the threat alive.
In a couple of weeks, Christopher Reeve will be back as the Man of Steel in Superman 4. But to make his super comeback, Reeve had to go through some problems. One very serious, and the other, one that almost everyone faces.
Are the tights tougher and tougher to get on
They've been shrinking in the wash over the years. As a matter of fact. Listen, if the temperature's too hot, it's a real problem the next morning. They only come halfway up, and then I got to stretch them. You must have the same problem every day, right?
Every day. Did you have to train real hard to get in shape for Superman 4?
I'll tell you a little secret. On part 1, when I was 24 and very gung-ho, I trained real hard and put on 20 pounds and really got in shape. Part 2, I trained a little less hard. Part 3, a little less hard. And Part 4, the costume does the work. And all I did was just try to keep, you know, when you get up to be in your mid-30s, like I'm 34 now, I was 24 when I started the part. You have to watch that the little handles don't stick over the little yellow belt. That's the main thing.
We won't
and as long as you keep doing the sit-ups, then you don't have a problem.
Christopher Reeve's other problem was a lot more serious. Recently, Reeve was there when the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. opened an exhibit honoring Superman. And at that time, he seemed to have forgotten that once he had sworn that he would never do another Superman movie after Superman 3.
Well, what really happened was that after Part 3, I felt this is not going the right direction. This is not the Superman I want to see. So I made noises about I'll never do it again. And then a lot of people, friends, particularly said, why complain about it when you're in a position to change it?
It's true.
And this was a revelation. I thought, yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I've played this character for a long time. I think I know what makes it work. Maybe I should take responsibility. So first couple times they called up, I said, no, Superman 4, forget it. Then they called up and I said, well, how about if you let me write the story? And we made that deal, and I worked on the story.
Christopher's problem was, now that he had committed himself to writing the story of Superman 4, what would it be about? Well, he found the answer when he hosted a children's television special in Boston in 1985.
They had interviewed Russian embassy officials and State Department officials, and it was a documentary made by kids about their fears of growing up in a nuclear age. And this started me thinking, and a cousin of my father's belongs to a group called Educators for Social Responsibility, and they began talking to me about, you know, you really got to pay attention. I mean, you're Superman for now, and think about it. And this combined with pressure from Warner Brothers to do Superman again sort of resulted in the script happening.
Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
So Superman's battling nuclear weapons, and Christopher Reeve is battling a bulging waistline. But in the end, there's only one real problem that's on the Man of Steel's mind.
Because you wanted to know whether I was faster than a speeding bullet.
I'll have more news on the lives and careers of the stars when we come back. We're
What are you up to? Is Lex Luthor. He's created the ultimate weapon to destroy the Man of Steel. Then the door will open. Superman 4. Dear Steel, where are you gonna get it? His most important adventure, the quest for peace. Rated PG. Starts Friday, July 24th at a theater near you. What?
Broadcast of this program on Channel 10 is made possible by a grant from Marjorie Barrick and First State Bank, underwriting partners for Nova.